Hello Beanies and welcome back to Beanies in a Pod. I'm Phil.
I'm Aaron. And I'm Daniel.
We're also joined today by a man that needs no introduction, but I've written one so he's getting one anyway. He's an experienced, motivated and competent commercial financial leader with 20 years of experience. It's Neil Action Jackson.
Hey, hello, how you doing? You've visited my LinkedIn profile.
Oh, we got it. Okay, I was going to ask you where that's come from, but there we go.
No, that stuff sticks.
There we go. So,
something else.
In today's episode, we're going to cover some of our topics from our manifesto, such as accounting and running a practice, automation and AI. We're also going to have a new game coming up with another jingle. You know I love my jingles. And Aaron is in charge of Snack Attack this time, so we're going to see what snacks he pulls out the bag, what he's prepared.
I've been fired.
You have been fired.
Yeah. I don't know what they rightfully so. Something wrong with my selections of snacks.
It was the fig rolls. Let's be honest with that.
But
to start, let's get a bit of a background on our guest, an origin story, if you'd like. Who is Neil Jackson?
Right. Well, I'm an accountant that was qualified 1999. God, that makes me sound old.
Just before the Y2K.
Yeah, I know. That was a big damp squib of a scaremongering thing, wasn't it? Anyway, enough about the banks. I got qualified in small practice. Been in corporate world for probably 20 plus years, and literally had an epiphany mid-40s. Call it a midlife crisis or what you like, to be honest. But long story short, I got fed up with talking to and set up a practice. Anyway, long story short, I didn't want to stay in corporate world for the remaining 10, 15 years of my career. Really had some blue sky thinking time, and just wanted to go back to a job that I enjoyed, and that was looking after small businesses. You know, at the time, Make Tax Digital was knocking on the door. In my mind, it presented a huge opportunity, and that opportunity was essentially that there was a huge gap in the market, an unmet need really for small businesses, because the traditional or antiquated, I'd probably call it now, accounting model just doesn't service them at all. You know, the bag of receipts or just seeing the client once a year just doesn't work. They need more advisory, they need support. And they need a finance partner, hence the name. So yeah, that's the model. And the second big thing is most of them don't know how much money they're making or whether it's even worth getting out of bed. So the second part of that is providing them with timely information, which obviously plugs into Xero real time. But the other thing, which is pretty pertinent to reporting and bots for that and the beanie journey, so to speak, is actually just producing decent, timely information for them. So I tend to meet my clients every 3 months, and whether they like it or not, I tell them how their business is doing, and that teases out all the important questions as to whether it is worth getting out of bed, whether you put your prices up, whether you're spending too much money, whether, frankly, you're running a charity or something that could pay your mortgage. So, that's, and I've got to say, I'm in my 6th year now. I've been growing 30% year on year, and I'm really enjoying it. It's good fun, and I never thought I'd get to this stage where I actually enjoy work, but I do, so it's quite good. Outside of that, I've got a passion for riding motorbikes. I've got 2 lovely children who are grown-ups now, thankfully. And I live in Dorking with my girlfriend, and life's pretty damn good.
Question for you though, looking back, was the allure as much about being a small business owner yourself as it was about helping the clients?
I think it was actually... I don't think so.
Okay.
My ego's not as big as yours, clearly. But no, it wasn't. And I think actually after spending 20 years in corporate world, it was much more about, this is going to sound terrible, doing something that felt like you were making a difference. That sounds a bit emotional, I know. But actually quite a lot of the meetings I have with my clients, I give them a steer. It steers them from running their business into a ground, let's say, by not putting prices up every year because it's a difficult conversation. Or, some clients, it's a nasty conversation where, look, you'd be better off going out and getting a job, mate, because this lifestyle business just might feel good, but it's not paying the bills. So I really am proud that actually I genuinely think that I support my clients and give them, the FD service
Yeah.
that they need,
Yeah.
and arguably can't afford. And that's why I run a subscription service and look after 50 businesses. But some of them have 2 hours a month, some of them have 22 hours a month. But it works for them and it's affordable for them.
Yeah.
No, CA answer. I didn't want to own my own empire. I literally
Make me sound like Darth Vader.
I literally just wanted to do something that actually made a difference, and I feel I do.
That's good. What we've seen over the last probably 20, 30 years, well, actually even longer, but in recent times, and you and I both were in the corporate world when really bad things happened, where advisory took over compliance. Do you think there's a risk for small firms where they start to overlook things on the compliance side in favour of more services and revenues on the advisory? Do you think there's a risk there?
Oh, I think there is a risk there, but with all this software technology, you've got to be a bit of a muppet to miss deadlines. It's pretty mechanical stuff. We all miss a deadline now and again, but long story short, we know what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. The compliance should be a natural output of a systematic reporting function. And it shouldn't be that exceptional thing that happens once a year. I mean, I've already filed 3 of my clients' year-end accounts for the 31st of March. And I've obviously got another 40 to go. But the reality is some people need mortgages. Some people, this should be a natural output of a solid, robust bookkeeping system, not shit, we need to do this before this deadline. It should be the norm, not the exception. So I don't think that's a risk. But it just depends what you're focusing on. I personally think the compliance piece, you can't do the bookkeeping, you can't do the reporting piece without the bookkeeping. And if you do the bookkeeping right, the reporting piece is just a natural output, especially with tools like what you've got. It shouldn't be onerous.
And with advisory services, do you think there's a lot of scope to expand that horizontally, across? So you're going to maybe expand it into HR, IT, even environmental ESG reporting. Do you think there's a scope with smaller firms to expand your services further?
Absolutely, without a doubt. But the reality is there's lots of independents doing just that now. You've got virtual assistants both in Asia and in the UK. One of my clients, she's a virtual PA, and she essentially acts as an agency also. The Jam team, she's called, just drop that in there, and she appoints people that can do specific tasks, and essentially that includes accounting, HR, law, and all of that. So, and I think even legal firms are beginning to cotton on to subscription type models rather than billable time. So they were slow to the take, but they're getting there.
Yeah, because what I've seen, it's a diagrammatic real shift actually in the legal firm, because that old partner, the formation of partner type of structure, very much seems to be on the way out. It seems to be passé. A lot of firms now, you've got obviously millennials coming through. They're the ones starting the new firms. You've got the Gen Zs on the back of that. They all don't want
a Gen Z.
A Gen Z, him.
That doesn't help. What's a Gen Z?
What is it? What's the age?
The 1998.
Yeah,
through to
1998.
2012.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
So and
The
then
kids.
the next one, the kids. Yeah, but the next generation after you, what's it called?
Well, I don't know actually.
It's Gen something, isn't it? Anyways,
It's not before him though.
whippersnappers. Let's call them whippersnappers.
Okay.
Yeah, the one after him.
Wee beans.
Exactly.
Right. Anyway, sorry, I
So
digress.
they're looking at the working world a different way. They're probably looking at, do I really want to buy into a partnership? I'd rather buy a house. So they're looking at the world a different way. If we do the fully digitised firm, you've got all the pre-accounting tools that you've got in place. You've got the Xero and the Sages and all the other systems in place. You've got bots running around doing everything. Compliance is taken care of, 99% of it. What you've got left is advisory and a lot of other services. So where do you think the destination is for the firms? So what does a firm look like, say, in 15 years from now? Would you think?
Well, I think it's got to be advisory. It's got to be the value added stuff that isn't mechanical. I mean, that's the only thing that won't be automated. Being really blunt about it, I kind of think that there's AI's taken over. Your tool again is another step towards automation. I think things using Dex. I use Dex with Zero. You know, that's another step. You know, that's a learning AI that you set supplier rules. I touch probably less than 25% of all the invoices that come through my clients into Zero now. They're all pretty much automated. I mean, my main concern, I mean, yeah, advisory is the answer to your question, but I think the larger concern is for old gits like me, who's been around you, that's been around the block. I don't want me to just, yeah.
I've been around twice actually, but that's fine.
Yeah, but the reality is we've been around the block twice, and we've seen, you know, we've done the books, we've spent our time making love to the photocopier and filling audit files and doing all that stuff. And now we've got a breadth of experience to actually help these small businesses get managed, right?
Yeah.
You know, if everything's automated, the youngsters or the younger people, which is most other people now, are going to struggle to get that nuts and bolts view. So that might be a stretch for them to step straight into advisory. So
do you think there's a risk though for new accountants coming into the industry, because everything's automated and done, and then because you're back in our day, we'd sit there till midnight ticking and bashing and doing all sorts of manual crap, right? But that was our education, that was our internship.
That's getting those stripes, unfortunately, isn't it? You know?
But if they're not going to do that,
I agree.
What do you think is the impact? Yeah,
that's the point I'm making. Really, is that, you know, the rounded. That's why I really like what I do at the moment, is because I have firms, clients that are that big and clients that are that big, and the cross section of that, and we still do the bookkeeping. You know, we still do a lot's automated, but we still review a trial balance at the end of every 3 months before we produce a report, and it's that, you know, it isn't quite double entry, but it's still the fundamentals of accounts, and I think, you know, you've got to have that in your toolkit in order to be the advisory, because the advisory is kind of like the steps after the numbers and the conversations that come out of the numbers. If the numbers are in the first place because no one's reviewed it with a brain, or the AI hasn't been taught that yet, that's that, you know, anyone can make, people can make conclusions out of numbers, but you need the numbers to be pretty good.
And you need a fundamental idea of how the numbers come about.
Well, do you get that in this situation? Do you get the fundamental idea of the numbers by almost having to understand what the automations are doing? Because you want to, I think what you want is a situation where you have everything automated, but you have people in place that understand each of the automations, and they're almost like managing the automations rather than the numbers themselves.
Absolutely.
So they have to understand what's going in, because if something goes wrong, I mean, obviously one of the main benefits of automation is that it hardly ever goes wrong, because it's basically never. But in the situation where something does go wrong,
1%, really. Yeah, come on.
You do need someone that has that knowledge and the ability of what the actual process in the background was going on, because otherwise,
I agree. You need to be able to unpick
you're screwed,
it.
aren't you?
Yeah, you can be. So we've segued nicely into automation.
We have.
AI
We have
then.
just sort of
Thank
flowed
Natural
perfectly
segue.
into
You're such a
automation and
natural.
AI.
That's why they brought me in. Very easily led.
So
Astray.
you mentioned just before we came on camera, you mentioned ChatGPT.
Yep.
What have you done so far? What have you explored? What have you experimented with? What have you done?
I've done absolutely nothing.
Okay.
But my girlfriend's son showed me it, and he basically demonstrated to me that, you know, he could write a thesis on anything he likes without actually knowing a dicky bird about it. Okay? So I can exercise self-control. Which is just phenomenally brilliant and phenomenally scary. That you can literally give it a few key words and even tell it the style.
There's a lot of power there.
Yeah, if I was a student, I mean...
Well,
that was a thing recently, wasn't it? There was a ChatGPT passed the accountants exam.
CPA
wasn't it?
exams
Yeah.
in the US, yeah.
Really?
That's right, yeah.
yeah.
Actually, it failed the
It's
first.
the American
Failed the first
qualification,
time.
when it learned,
you know.
didn't
In
it?
fairness, there's a lot of rules as opposed to principles.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
quite challenging actually, but yeah. But no, it failed the first time
And it
then
learned, yeah,
learned and
Wow.
passed the second time. Much like we do.
exactly.
Yeah.
But what we found
It doesn't
really,
make the human race sound very good, though, does it? You know, or qualified accountants if a blinking robot can do it. But
well, it's just a logical sequence of
Yeah.
rules, isn't it?
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
if this, then that. If not this, you know, and who can't learn that? If we can do it, geez, anyone
I
can.
don't know. It took me 5 years to get a qualified accountant. I'm quite deflated now after hearing that.
Don't feel bad.
Okay.
Don't feel bad. But what we've been experimenting with, and this is something you should try it yourself, but we're actually going to do this at DAS.
Okay.
So we've got a demo at DAS. We're going to actually show this live.
Digital accounting show.
2023.
15th of June.
Dan Cockerton,
Battersea.
Battersea.
Yeah, Battersea, yeah.
We're going to do a demo of our reporting bot,
Mm.
but we've taken the reporting bot an extra step further. What we've done is once the bot has produced the management pack and it's done the start of the working papers and it's looked at the variances and it's gone off to drag off some invoices and
Excellent.
budget data and stuff like that, what it actually then does next, it goes into GPT, it plugs in the results of the financial pack. So it plugs in P&L, balance sheet, this month versus last month, last quarter, last year, whatever you want to do.
Wow.
And we've built a very solid script in ChatGPT to look at, analyze, compare, contrast, and report on the numbers and look for trends, look for patterns, base it off of UK,
So kind of an exec
International
summary
gap.
kind of type.
far more than that. And it goes in, all the details of lines, it looks at the turnover, it finds patterns, it goes
Wow.
back. It can go back
And
as
how many pages
years.
is this?
It can be as many as you want it to be.
Okay.
So we can define, go back 10 years, go back 3 years, go back in history,
Yeah.
do quarter by quarter, month on month, year on year, this time last year, same month. We can do all of that within the script. And it was, I was sort of, I mean, you know, I know the technology, but I was thinking, it probably won't be that great. It might be interesting.
Yeah.
I was surprised. And it picks up, and as you know, ultimately, we can pick up certain things, but code and AI is going to pick up patterns that we probably don't even detect with our eyes
No.
in our experience. And it picked up things that I hadn't even noticed. I was quite surprised actually.
Wow.
But it did actually produce a full, and it was almost like an audit report.
Brilliant.
It was quite surprising. You'll be interested in it, but we'll do it at DAS and we'll show everyone. But the really
Look forward to
interesting
that.
thing,
It sounds all right, actually. It
but what you
sounds
can
scary. But
even better
good.
than that is that's just using OpenAI. So that's using the limited training that they've done. But what we can do is we can take ChatGPT as the front end. We can plug that into
Okay.
your practice to
Yeah.
learn your language and how you look at the world.
might learn a few words.
Yeah, it might learn a few.
Sorry.
But
Be an interesting
we can
report.
basically train it. Same way you'd bring on a new person
Yeah.
and train them. Well, this is how I see the world. This is how I look at companies.
Yeah.
We can train it on you so that it will then use that knowledge to then do the same analysis.
Yeah.
And speak in your tongue.
Jargon, yeah.
Yeah, effectively.
Fantastic. Wow. That's
So you say we can't do advisory, but actually we can do a lot of the stuff that gives you what you need for the advisory.
yeah. Yeah, well,
Powerful
I mean,
stuff.
it really powerful and quite scary just that actually it can do the analysis and give it to us on a plate. I mean, that's
And it'll learn, it'll improve. And you'll, the first few months you go, well, some of that's good, some of it's a bit. We'll train it.
Yeah.
And you train it.
But then you can still, I surmise, get a template, a boilerplate report, and then just pick and choose what you actually want
You
to
can.
extract.
You can.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you could basically feed it all of your working papers for the last 10 years. Throw it all in, and it will learn from what you've done. It will look at the results. It will look at the comments, the answers, the outputs, the outcomes. And it will
It
learn
sounds
from all of that.
far too much for my client base, but it sounds really good.
But that's the great thing about it is it's scalable well, from our
Yeah.
point of view. Whether you want it for a small client with one founder or
Yeah.
one of your 100,
So
100 million.
technically, you could close your ledgers, schedule a report run, write your
Wouldn't even need to
report
schedule
before
it.
you get out of bed
Yeah.
the next day.
Yeah, and you could have sort of cheat sheet of, your dashboard with, well, I really need to go and talk to these 5 clients. The rest, send it all out.
Yeah, who's in charge of marketing, spending too much again, and development aren't, that
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
Yeah, okay, no, it sounds.
But it's tools to enable you to be the best you can, and it allow you to scale and grow without the cost of scaling and growing that you would have to do.
yeah, recruiting is a nightmare.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds really interesting.
exactly. Yeah.
But
So we'll talk more about that, but we're going to show it at
I feel
DAS.
like a rabbit in the headlights at the moment. That is quite powerful. That one. Yeah.
Well, I was dubious. I thought, well, I know it's good. It'll do something, but I was actually quite surprised with the results, and
Yeah.
that's before we've even plugged it into real your data
yeah.
to give it your voice. That would be quite something, and we'd like to experiment with that with you.
Yeah, I look forward to that little showboat.
Fantastic.
And that brings us on nicely to our next segment, mental fitness, actually. You mentioned earlier, you're in the corporate world and you kind of had your epiphany and thought, actually, I want to come away and do my own thing. And would you say you're happier doing that with you?
Well, my epiphany could also be called depression. Being really honest. I fell off the wagon, and I got divorced, and my kids, live with their mum, and long story short, I had a real brain fart in terms of depression, and I had to get some professional help, and it cost me a few quid, but it was the best thing I ever did. And the reality of the situation is frankly, the NHS isn't equipped to look after us blokes are shit at talking to people as well. We literally just keep pressing away. A big part of that decision was getting myself in an environment where actually I did want to go to work. I do feel valued, and rather than just going through the motions and turning the sausage machine handle of producing reports for a big corporation, looking after small businesses, feeling that actually someone gives a shit about the service that you are actually providing them and actually making a difference was a really big part of what I wanted to do for the remaining 15 years of my career. And I wish I'd done it years ago, but hindsight's a wonderful thing. But mental health is massive. And I think it is coming to the fore now, thank God. It is being talked about. I'm so pleased that the younger generation can talk about it in as free a way as they do. I'm a mental health first aider because I wanted to try and give something back, and whenever I see someone struggling, I take them out for a coffee, and sometimes I help and sometimes I don't. But long story short is we're all living in a world where everything is so fast paced and no one stops and pays attention to the good stuff out there, and
or the bad stuff,
or the
and
bad
what it's
stuff.
doing to us.
Yeah,
you
but
just
also
get caught up in it, don't you?
Also, the mind is it is so poisonous.
It's not logical, is it?
No, it really isn't. And I call it a naughty puppy. It will drag you wherever. Don't keep it clean. It's like a naughty puppy, and it will drag you in whatever direction you let it. So you need to keep hold of that lead and keep it on a short rein by your heel and tell it what to do. And that's a huge part of my recovery, if you like, and that is about a mental toolkit to keep that puppy on a short rein. And it's so much easier journey when you're doing a job that you like, when you're feeling positive about what you do in this planet, and that so we spend a long time working.
We do. So
without going any more into that, I mean, long story short, I think it's great that everyone's talking about mental health. I think it's super important. It's kind of like a modern day cancer. It really is. I've seen so many very clever people completely debilitated by it. And I was debilitated, and I'm not clever, but I was absolutely 3 months in Netflix, hiding from the world. That's how scary the world was at that point. So, people need the tools to not get to that stage and feel free about talking about it. I think it's fantastic that everyone's feeling that it's not a taboo subject.
I think it's probably even more important because we talk about the Gen Zs and millennials. They're tech savvy, but they're also more emotional intelligence savvy than probably our generation.
And insular.
Yeah, and our generation. It's good that we talk about it because we were brought up in a generation. I just get on with it.
Just
crack on.
Our parents were Victorian males.
Exactly,
they kind of shut up and get on with it, son.
Exactly. So I think it's really important. I mean, the fact that you've acknowledged that is powerful stuff. The fact that we're talking about it. You're a mental health first aider. If you were saying, you're talking about the tools then to manage. I think you already listed a couple of things there. But what would be your top 3 things then? What top 3 tools, just off the top of your head?
Absolutely. Every day I wake up and I've got about 20 things going around my head that I want to do today. Literally, I go and put the kettle on, and actually I try to tell my mind to shut up.
You nearly swore then, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. And I literally just go, look, just take a moment, calm down, and you'll get to work with everything. Like, life passes quite quick, as we know. You guys have got years left, but we've got probably less. So top 3 is don't let your tail wag the dog. Don't let your mind take control. Take a moment. Second is, if ever you feel like you have a bad day, at the end of that day, think of 3 good things that happen. You will think of 20 bad things that happen, but finish your day thinking about the good stuff.
Yeah.
And the last one, I don't know, is actually just be present. You know, not go through the motions. You know, look at the trees out. I know it sounds all hippie-ish, but you know, we are in a beautiful time of the year.
Yeah.
There is so much good stuff out there. You know, just to make you put a little smile on your face.
Yeah.
Be present in what you're doing, not autopilot. Because I think definitely 15 years ago, you know, with a young family and various other commitments, you know, you just get through each day, and actually, you know, it's a gift that shouldn't be squandered.
Yeah, it's no rehearsal, is it? That's the
No.
thing, and you don't realise that
No.
at the time when you.
Well, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, this life's more than just a read through, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's one of my little.
You're a Peppers fan, are you?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know. So am I.
yeah.
Oh,
They probably don't know who they are. 'Cause
Oh,
it's before
come
their
on.
time.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, all right, okay.
This is where he gets all upset.
My musical pedigree.
I wouldn't say I've got musical pedigree. You saw my gym playlist; it would probably make you cry, the amount of switching between genres you go through. But I think just to end that, we'll say that I will put some links in the description of the podcast and in the YouTube video for some useful things to do with mental health. And, you know, if you are struggling, just remember that you can always reach out and speak to someone. There is always someone there that will, you know, listen to what you have to say. And sometimes that's all you need to do is just talk to someone.
And also, you know, one of the I'm going to put a number 4 on this 3, right? And that
you got
is
to pay for that one.
no. And actually, as if you are struggling, you know, get talk to your mate about it. Say, because the biggest thing for me is actually talking and explaining how you feel to one of your friends,
Yeah.
and listening to the way you're describing it
Yeah.
to your friends
Out loud.
Out loud.
It
It has a massive impact because you kind of hear yourself, and actually, if it just sounds like you're just having a whinge, your mate will just slap you down because that's what mates do.
Yeah.
And if it's kind of you're blowing a mountain out of a molehill, you know, he will say that, but also you will hear that, and then you'll realise that your brain's just been overly negative.
Yeah.
Which is what it's really good at. So that's my number 4. I shut up now.
No,
I'll get
that's
off my
fantastic.
soapbox.
It's like-
But look
great
after
stuff.
yourself, because
All
you can't make money and you can't work if you're a miserable and you're not enjoying life, and that's
It's so true. A problem halved is a problem shared. A shared is halved, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's all
smooth.
these
I like
these
that.
old
Yeah.
sayings that were our generation before us.
Yeah.
We sort of forgot about them.
yeah, no, definitely.
I mean, they're all kind of coming back now.
Us boys are rubbish
they,
at talking. We need to.
They did know what we
Yeah.
were talking about.
Yeah.
It's time for my favourite part of the podcast, because I normally come up with these games. It's time for the first game. It's a new game.
I'm excited for this.
Yeah, you've got sort of had a little teaser of
Yeah.
this, but
Oh, I was going to say, do you know what? I was just going to say,
You know there's a
Phil hasn't
jingle.
played a jingle yet.
You know
Here
there's
we
a
go.
jingle.
I've been saving it. I'd like to welcome you all to Financial Feud. Now, I hear you all screaming, Phil, what is this game? How do I play? How do I take part?
Phil, how do we do it? How do we take part?
Well, have no fear, because I'm here to explain.
I had other words in my mind.
So the way this game works, I've taken several phrases and I've put them into Google, so that's the start of a phrase. So the example I've got for you is, why are accountants ... You know when you put something into Google, it sort of autocorrects the end of it.
Yeah.
Now it gives you 10 autocorrects. I'm going to ask each of you to try and guess what the top autocorrect was, and I'll give you points based on your answers if they're in the top 10. Okay, so that is the rules to Financial Feud.
Okay. Lead
End
on.
of jingle.
Game Master, Daniels.
Blimey.
So, I think,
think
as you
now.
are the guest, giving you the answers. Oh,
Can we confer?
Oh dear. Phil.
first swearing of the episode. That makes me. Oh, actually, I will also go through. If you get the wrong answer, standard. If you get the answer right, it's all right. We've got more sound effects.
Money, man.
Oh,
Sound
you're being
effects heavy
served.
today.
Remember that?
So, as you're the
Frank.
guest, Neil, I'll ask you first.
Oh, blimey.
So, I asked Google, what do accountants ... Oh,
What-
why do accountants? Sorry. Oh God. Why do accountants ...
Why do accountants?
What do you think Google thought? What have people been searching for? That's how they're ranked. It's how many people have searched it.
Charge so much. Oh! Oh!
So that's 5 points. 5 points for Neil there. So I'll write that down.
Did you mention the prizes? You haven't covered the prizes.
Well, we'll get to the
It's
prizes at the
shits
end.
and giggles, is it? Okay.
Right.
Wow.
We'll go to you this
straight
time.
in.
Yeah, there we go. That was the 5th most searched for answer.
Wow.
Daniel? Why do accountants ...
Is there a time limit on this? Or?
Well, I'm gonna have to start counting you out in a minute. Come on.
God, it's like a question of sport.
I'll have another go.
Can I confer with my colleagues?
No, you cannot.
Call a friend.
Why do accountants drive BMWs?
Oh,
No, unfortunately not. That's 0 points for you. Aaron?
actually, I'm going to go the other way to Neil. Why do accountants charge so little?
Ooh.
That's good.
Wrong though.
You've obviously seen my prices.
I'll
for the
give you
effort.
it. I've got make so little. We'll go with
Okay.
that. I'll give you some points for that.
take
But
that.
the rest
Wow.
of those, so in number 1, wear visors. Not really sure why that's in there.
Wear visors.
Earn so much. Use spreadsheets. Come on, guys. You should have got that one. Need bank statements. Use Excel. Use brackets for negative numbers. Make so little. Record transactions in the journal. And close accounts. Those are the top 3 searches for
See, I
that
knew
one.
the answer to the others though, so I wouldn't ask the question. But
Well, you've got to think of it.
You've got to think
It's,
of it
it's
on the
also
side,
aren't you? You're
it's
on the
not
side.
just
Yeah.
accountants that would be searching.
Yeah.
It's other
I'm
people.
pleased to see that in there wasn't never return my calls.
We've got more questions, so you never know.
no
So,
comment.
Oh,
Here we
right.
go. So Daniel, I'll ask you this first now. How do accountants ...
Use spreadsheets.
Yes.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, we've got that
Seeing
in
a
there.
trend here.
7 points there for Daniel on that one.
Ooh.
Right, Aaron.
Charge so much. Just a little.
Stolen.
What's the question? Sorry.
How do accountants ...
accountants-
Breathe.
How do accountants close the books?
Ooh.
No.
No, that's not in there. Can't even give you one for that one, unfortunately. Neil, how do accountants ...
Prepare accounts.
That's not in there either. I mean,
Damn it.
yeah. So get paid is the top one. How do accountants get paid? Charge, help businesses, use spreadsheets again. Charge for their services, use maths, make money, save you money, work, value a business.
You say
Those are the
use
top.
maths.
Use math was actually what was typed a load of times.
Not
Not
mathematics.
maths, not mathematics. Use math.
It's American.
How do accountants use math? But there you go.
Right.
So
not
Aaron,
as well as they use a dictionary. Clearly.
clearly,
Yeah.
well, it might not have been accountants searching this. Remember,
But-
it might have been the normies.
Fair enough.
It's
But
Google
Aaron,
as well, isn't it?
why does HMRC ...
Oh, God,
Now
yes.
I will tell you on this one that you're going to have to be very specific with the wording because about
Right.
5 of the answers are very similar.
Suck.
Well,
And do the other ones rhyme with
it's-
that?
It's
That's
not.
what I'm feeling.
It's not. It's not your go yet.
I'm sorry.
I'll put your finger over the swear button if I were you.
There are no swearing in any of these answers.
Okay.
So why do HMRC
Why does HMRC ...
not work?
work
properly?
I can't give you that one. That's not close enough to any of these.
Never answer the phone. That's got to be
That's
in
It's
there.
got to be in there.
That's gotta be a point.
I'll give you. I'll give you.
Yeah, If
I'll
you're
give you. I'll
thinking
give you
that
the.
long-
I'll give you. Just hang up.
Okay. And they
But
do. And they do. Look on the
Oh, dear,
website.
your
See
phone
you
got
later.
Cut off. Oh, shame.
I've been holding on for 20
Yeah.
minutes.
So
yeah.
Daniel, what do you
5
think?
points, thank you.
Why does HMRC?
Yep.
I'm trying to think of a clean way of saying this. I can't think of one.
Just remember why what people have searched for. People don't search why does HMRC and then slag them off loads for about 5 minutes in a Google
Or Daniel
search.
does.
Well, he might. Yeah.
Why does HMRC not use digital? All right.
It's not. It's not, unfortunately. So that's 0 for you
On
there.
message, but
So from first to last, hang up, keep hanging up, say I owe tax, want payment on account, hang up on me, need to know gender, just hang up,
And
take
all of
so
the above.
long, cut me off, or not recognise me. So it was a lot about hanging up, basically. Apparently, HMRC are just cutting people off all the time
Yeah,
on
they
the
do.
phone.
Unfortunately, their service now, as you phone them up, they've got a lot of good lines, but some lines are literally like, you can find all the answers you need. Don't care what you're asking. Go to the website. Kinda. And then
So-
it hangs up, and it's really annoying.
Another question for you, Neil, here, and this is specifically
Bonus
for you.
round,
This
I
one.
think.
I know,
Does
I'm ahead.
no,
so
we
I'm
got
all
we
right.
got we got 3 more.
Oh,
Does 0
Ooh.
does 0 ...
Does
Care about the UK anymore?
Oh.
harsh but fair. Does 0 prepare my accounts?
It's not close enough, unfortunately.
Oh, so it's close.
Automatically.
It's not.
Okay, I think you're a tough. But there you go. Anyway,
Daniel, does 0 ...
Cost very much.
No.
harsh.
This is gold mine stuff for Zero. They should be listening.
Thinking of. Does 0 work in the US? No.
God, clean sweep. Do payroll, charge VAT, do tax returns, track mileage, work
Do
with
tax
Starling
returns.
Bank,
No, I said
have an
account.
app, work on
Have a
Mac.
nap. Have a nap, did you
Yeah,
say?
have an app, do work on
It's
Mac,
an app.
an
rather.
app.
Oh,
What
I
did
thought
you
is it
not
have
a
a
nap,
nap?
as
as
in
in
No,
full
no,
nap?
have an app, work on Mac, have an audit trail, pay employees automatically, or have a CRM system.
Yeah,
So those are the
Oh,
top 10
right.
there.
they're all good questions.
Yeah, that was a bit of a fumble from us.
Speak to your local accountant to find out the answers.
Especially when
Indeed,
they're
yes,
a
your
0
finance
partner.
partner. maybe.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Daniel,
Yes.
my accountant, ... Don't look at me like that. These are a bit weird, this one. Some of these just don't make any sort of grammatical sense, but
Oh, okay. My accountant doesn't wear jeans.
absolutely not. Unfortunately not. Aaron?
I'm thinking along the phone lines here, not return calls.
Yeah.
I'll give you ghosted me. Not return calls, ghosted me.
Ghosted.
Same thing, it's just worded differently, but I'll give you that one.
It means to not.
It means to
end
like
the
just
trail.
ignore
If
people.
a client's ghosted, that probably means they don't want your business, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty bad, isn't it?
Or they
But-
died.
Jesus Christ.
Taking it
Wow.
literally.
I mean,
You
you're
know,
not
they
wrong.
turned into a ghost.
Oh, wow, okay.
So Neil, my accountant ...
Has no idea about my business.
Wow.
Doesn't understand my business.
I'll be lenient. I'll give you is ripping me off. Doesn't understand about my business. Is ripping me
I
off.
think you're very generous there, but I'll
Yeah,
take
I
it.
think so too. I want Neil
Yeah.
Poir for that.
but yours are just completely wrong. Is not responding. Made a mistake. Is ripping me off. Online app. Filed late. Ghosted me. Has been negligent. Has disappeared. So there we go.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I can see all those happening.
So the final
Not in
one,
my
Aaron,
practice.
you'll
No,
go
no.
first here.
Yes.
Will my accountant ... Now the top answer for this is quite funny, but so will
Is it dirty?
will it is kind of will my accountant ...
I'm going to go obvious one. Will my accountant file my tax return?
It's an obvious one, is it?
No?
Unfortunately, it's not right.
I want Neil's answer here. Come on.
Oh, God. No, you go next.
No, no.
No, it's
no.
you. You're in the order. It's you now.
Okay, all right. Will my accountant accept favours?
Oh,
I really want to give you a point for that, but it's not in there.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
wow. Gosh.
Beat
That's,
that.
that's the one I was thinking
Trump
of.
that, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
He's got his finger on the fail button
I
already.
know, he's such a git. Will my accountant
Yep.
work for free?
No. So I'll
blatantly
go
a
the
no.
other way this time. So be in another state, call the IRS for me, report me, need bank statements, get a 1099, need my receipts, save me money, access my Gov account. No, I do OnlyFans.
No, I do.
Oh, will my
OnlyFans.
accountant
Will
know
my
that
accountant
I do
know that I do
OnlyFans?
OnlyFans?
Only if they don't know themselves.
Well, they'll see it on the.
Only if, yeah.
but that was the most.
A lot of those
thing, which
sounded
is,
very
they're
US
very
oriented.
American.
Yeah,
1099
well,
form and IRS and yeah.
but there you go.
That's why we didn't get it, because we don't understand Americans.
There we go. But
Or
that was
struggle.
Financial Feud.
Well done. So who won?
Oh, that's a good point, actually.
I don't think he has a clue.
Well, it's me.
It actually might be you, to be fair.
He is the accountant.
Neil has won.
Hey! What do I win?
Well, we'll get that. Aaron will cover this section next, but he will present you with your prize.
Excellent. Look
Thank you all for playing Financial Feud.
Pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure.
Go on, Aaron.
Which one should I
I
present?
know that's hard to follow,
Do it in
but
reverse order.
So
which
Here's your prize
your
for winning.
actual prize for
Oh.
winning is a
I'm now a beanie. Oh, proud
beanies hoodie.
moment. Fantastic. Look at that.
You're now officially a beanie.
There you go.
Congratulations.
Excellent. Is it extra large? I'm sure it
No,
is.
it's a large, mate. You don't need extra large.
Brilliant. Thank you very, very much. Awesome.
Are we not doing a...
what about the one right in front of you?
Oh,
Yeah,
is this being
That's-
given?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
yeah.
Apologies.
Oh,
Apologies.
God.
We're
One
sending you
job.
home with a wardrobe.
One
That's
job he
that.
had.
And also, you're now officially
A VIB.
a very
Oh.
important beanie.
Oh, that's well
There you
cool.
go.
Oh, I really like that. Oh, sorry. Look at that. All right, no, that's fantastic. I do love you guys, and I do love what you do. So I'm really pleased to be part of the team.
Excellent.
A
Proud
very-
to have you. Proud to have you.
Right.
Oh, should we hug? No, I'm
Let's
joking.
not.
No. Excellent. Right. Cool. Thank you. Thank you
No.
very much.
Right, now on to the last section of the podcast, and it's your favourite section, isn't it?
Well, it's normally my favourite, but I've been
your-
fired.
here we
from
go.
this
He's
section.
relegated.
So it was only your favourite section when you were in charge.
Oh, is
Well,
this
yes,
the
of
snacky
course.
bit then?
It is the snacky bit.
It
Well,
is.
actually, it's snack
Snack
attack. Probably turn that up a little bit, actually, but this week, however, as we've mentioned, you're fired, and Aaron is in charge. So
God help us.
we're not going to have all those funny faces you make now when the
No. Well, here's the thing. I've
Oh, there
chosen
we go.
one of these.
Disclaimer.
I've chosen one of these,
Mm-hmm.
and another one has been recommended to me.
Bye.
Christian Wedlock, if you're watching.
CTO.
Yes. Actually, we'll start with mine.
Okay.
A childhood favourite of mine. Something I used to
Ooh.
get your little packed lunches and you got sent off to school. At lunchtime, you open it up and
You're
I'm-
like, God, what is this?
what I'm gonna do,
Better not be damn penguins.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I got
Threw
sick
that
of
sucker
them.
away last
I'm gonna
time.
give it to you. If you grab a bit of the bar each, the little chocolate bar there.
This one here.
Yeah. And you,
Oh,
what
yeah.
we're gonna do is you try and guess
I won't
what
guess.
that is. I think you already
I-
know.
I
know
saw
what
I
this
saw
is.
the packet, but I also could have guessed. Oh my, okay.
Oh, I think. But shall I guess?
Yeah.
I
Please.
think they're Rice Krispies.
Oh,
is my
that's
guess.
Close.
close. I'm guessing Daniel knows.
Cocoa Pop.
Cocoa Pops. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Thoughts.
Yeah, that's a winner for me.
Yeah, chicken dinner.
Do you know what? That does taste like it did when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
I'm quite happy with that.
You're not going to be launching that across the room then?
No, God no. No.
What's this launching across the room then? If you don't like it, you throw it across the
Well,
room.
apparently
Well,
so.
That's what I do. That's me.
In a previous episode.
The penguin learnt to fly. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it was a definitely
And a,
flying penguin.
and a pig.
Not going out
Actually.
for dinner with you.
Oh.
Take it back.
The next one is Galaxy chocolate. Buttons. So one of them is a soft shell. One of them is a hard shell. And Christian said one of them's beans something. I can't remember the name of it now. But which one do you prefer, of the soft shell or the hard shell?
Oh,
So
I
if
know
you
which. Yeah,
Take
okay.
take one of each.
Okay.
I want to say minstrels.
Yeah, I think the ones
That's
on the
what they
left
look
are,
like.
Yes.
Yeah.
and then the ones on the right are. Oh God, I can't remember the name of them, but they're not called
No,
minstrels.
they're not.
called
minstrels,
like.
They're bean.
It
Actually,
used to be called buttons. Remember buttons?
Before my time. Sorry.
Oh, shut up.
Give me the ammo. I'm going to fire it.
Definitely the one on the right.
what? So the soft shell.
Minstrel. Minstrels. The
You
hard
prefer the
shell.
minstrels?
Yeah, I love minstrels. And they taste exactly as I remember them.
Do I eat both of them?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I can see you've rejected one of yours.
No, I took a little nibble out,
Oh,
but
right.
Oh.
Buttons, though, they didn't used to look like that. They used to sort of be...
I actually like the hard shell.
Yeah, see?
red
Minstrels.
God, I'm on my own.
Minstrels. Minstrels all the way.
Well done, Christian.
There we go. And that
Actually,
was...
that means you probably have to be permanently relegated from that, don't you? Cause,
Well, no, we're going to take it in turns.
well, I'm 2 for 2 on that.
Oh, we're doing it like that, are we? Everything's a competition with him. You noticed this? I thought I was competitive, but he's even like, you're ahead of me on the swearing. That's what he said to me. And the amount of times I've pressed this for reasons. So you've had more of them than me.
Who's had one this episode?
Well, I've had about 10, so I think I'm the loser.
The guest
or the
doesn't
winner,
count.
depending on
both
Yeah, I
count.
guess doesn't count.
You're both.
But anyway, that was Snack Attack. And that pretty much wraps it up for the episode. I'm going to hand it over to Aaron again now, just to do a little outro and wrap up.
And that concludes this episode of Beanies in a Pod. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to sign up to our community at beanies.botsforthat.com. And also remember, we have our new posting schedule. So episodes will be released every 2 weeks on the Monday for the audio and Friday for the video. Thank you for watching Beanies. Catch you in the next one.